Hey everyone, so Ethan Klein and Anna Kasperian are trading blows here, and it's quite funny. Ethan is absolutely destroying Anna Kasperian, even though I would be more inclined to be on Anna Kasperian's side than Ethan's side, to be honest. Anna has actually made changes due to what she has witnessed in real life. Ethan Klein is just mainly fighting for control, to be in control of the left. He would rather be in control of the socialist, communist type side of, well, I guess he's not communist, he's socialist, to a degree. He likes capitalism, which is bizarre, but he also passes on very, very, very socialist ideology, which just isn't great, you know. Anna Kasperian actually experienced issues, got assaulted herself, unfortunately, and managed to change her mind based on all that, realizing the reality of the real world. And she has done a pretty decent job. Now, Anna makes some bad arguments here. One of the stories from Ethan Klein's Instagram here, which I was going to show you, is past 24 hours old, so I can't view it anymore, which is great. But I can tell you pretty much what it was a video of Anna arguing with Cenk about the name of the Young Turks. Literally saying how insensitive it was. Cenk, who literally is Turkish, you know? Like, oh, this wasn't just some random thing that happened. He made his show name and he was denying the Armenian genocide. He absolutely was. So, that fact alone is really hypocritical, and they decided never to change their name. And I have to wonder if it's just simply because he believes in what he's saying, you know? Anyway, Anna Kasperian said this tweet. Hey, H3H3 Productions. Your low IQ attacks against TYT's name is rich, considering Israel doesn't recognize the Armenian genocide and provided the weapons the Azeris used to ethnically cleanse Armenians from Nagorno-Karabakh, I think is how you pronounce it. So how about you shut the F up with your fake concern about Armenians? You 2-bit genociding supporting DOUCHE. Right. Funny how you had no issues with the name of the show until people began rightly criticizing Israel. That is a good point. That is a very good point from Anna. I've always cared, and I've pointed it out many times on this channel, their name. So I've been doing that ever since I started. Can't use that against me. And you have to be brain dead to think that the American political show that barely even discusses Turkey is named after a Turkish political group from a century ago. Literally, Ethan posted the video of you arguing with Cenk about it and tearing Cenk apart. So I don't want to hear it. I'm sure that's what Rod Stewart was also doing when he named one of his most popular songs, Young Turk. Maybe. I have no idea. I don't listen to Rod Stewart. Also, please eat a D. Gotcha. So, let's listen to this real quick. Anna Kasperian is a coward who kisses the ring of her oppressors. She actually tried to tell me that Cenk just happened upon the Young Turks because he... Oh, maybe this is the video. Maybe this is. It should
be pointed out that Armenia did not listen to a UN resolution saying that that is not their land. So that's the two sides of that issue.
Yeah, I mean, look, Cenk, you and I can talk about this story more in depth, but a UN resolution by countries that don't even recognize the Armenian genocide, that was their land, that was historically their land, and it was handed over.
Yes, you sound like an Israeli right-winger, honestly.
No, it's not true. Cenk, that area...
It was my land 2,000 years ago.
Okay.
I don't recognize the United Nations.
Okay.
Well, that's convenient, right? So, look, I'm not saying who's right or wrong, and I got no dog in that fight. I really don't. In terms of, I don't know the Azerbaijan internal politics versus Armenian internal politics.
I do.
Okay, all right, yeah, but you can't conveniently say, hey, UN resolutions don't count when it's my ethnicity. Okay, UN resolutions do count, and so that gets held over Turkey's head on...
Anyway, guys, I have no idea what the last video was that got deleted, which sucks. But yeah, I guess, you know, that is her literally talking about it. Cenk denying the Armenian genocide that took place. I mean, and he's like, well, the UN said, so, you know, sweep it under the rug. That's pretty wild, actually. But anyway, let's see what Ethan says about it. You're right. I've learned a lot about Hassan, Cenk, and their family since our show ended. I think Ethan's going after TYT simply because literally Cenk's nephew, you know, Hassan Piker, has been doing what he's been doing. And it is a little silly to see Ethan go down this route, I gotta say. Because it's been completely unprovoked and he's been name-dropping TYT for a while. And they finally have responded. It's been literally over a month of him doing this. I think that was really stupid of Ethan to do. Jake has literally argued with his nephew, and Anna has sparred hard with Hassan. Hard insults, everything. They don't agree with each other. Which is, something you really should have looked into before starting this fight. I think this fight that Ethan started here with TYT was such a stupid miscalculation. Because he's going to further isolate actual, fans of his that still find Ethan reasonable. That, TYT, I guarantee you most of them are probably going to side with TYT because they're still leftists. And that's a real, quote-unquote, news company. See what I'm saying? Ethan Klein is a drama tuber. Which one are they going to side with? The one that's actually providing, daily news? Or the comedy show? You guys tell me which one you think they're more likely to, which one's going to actually hop the fence there and decide, I'm no longer watching this show over this show. I guarantee you TYT's probably going to pull a lot more from Ethan. Just the way it is. I've also learned about you from numerous Armenians that have reached out to me. Oh, right, your Armenian friends. Okay, right. That's what the last video was her literal... Oh, okay, I think he's making it... No. This was before the video. So she ended up saying, I know a lot of Jewish people. And then he showed a video of them saying, hey, that's like using, saying I have black friends. See what I'm saying? And he made fun of it. But maybe he is making a joke here. It's hard to read through text, guys, so don't get on to me for it. I can't tell people's tone through black and white text. Just impossible. Armenians have reached out to me. They despise you for what you represent, a submissive coward. Jank famously denied the Armenian genocide for a time, yet you smiled and kissed his ring. But about me, see, I don't think he's joking about that at all. I really don't. He's using his Armenian friends after literally the next video is him making fun of Anna for saying she has Jewish friends. And then Anna in the video is saying, you can't be saying stuff like, oh, my black friends. Yeah, nobody cares about that. That's such a cop-out. What a big circle jerk. All these people here on my screen, Anna, Jank, even Hassan, who isn't on my screen, I'm going to include him too, Ethan Klein, they're all idiots. They're really stupid. Anyway, I don't support Israel. I don't work at a place called the Young Zionist. Israel has nothing to do with the Armenian genocide. That's true. Why do you care if they've acknowledged it? If gestures like this mattered to you, then you should absolutely understand why the grotesque usage of the Young Turks is disrespectful to Armenians, Assyrians, and Greeks. Rod Stewart is not a political pundit. You are. Be honest. Do the Armenians, Assyrians, and Greeks genocided by Jank's family think the name... okay, that's a little far. Genocided by Jank's family? You'd have to submit some more proof than that. Just because he's from Turkey doesn't mean that he actually did it, or his family was involved. But whatever. Jake's family think the name The Young Turks is harmless. I know you it is harmless. Names are harmless, Ethan. I don't know if you know this or not, but names are actually harmless. Words are harmless, so, there is that. I know you fantasize about Jews of the region returning to dhimmi status, Anna. I'm sorry progress has been so slow on that, but for real, you would hate Israel no matter what they did. Look, I don't know. I don't know that people's hatred for Israel is unfounded, okay? I don't know for a fact that Israel didn't steal land. What I do know is there's no real documentation. There is decent documentation from the Jews buying the land from the fallen Ottoman Empire in the 1890s. Okay? That predates anything involved with Israel, genuinely. Our involvement with Israel, as the United States, I should say, even the UK's involvement with Israel wasn't fully submitted then, because the UK asked them not to do that. The UK wanted to give Israel Yemen Or I think it was Yemen, right? I'm pretty sure it was Yemen that they were trying to give to Israel, and Israel rejected it. Israel went out on their own, or Jews went out on their own, purchased Israel. There's record of it. Whether it's legit or not, I don't think they just went overseas in boats and started gunning people down and taking the land. There is no account from it, though. And you would think that there would be an account from Egypt or really not just Egypt or anything like that, but any surrounding country in general should have been able to document that pretty well. So I don't know about all that. But anyway, reading through some of the comments here, how does it feel to have new, Neos or bad guys from World War II as a fan base? I don't have many Zionist fans. Man, does she actually even think that a Zionist would genuinely side with, like, bad guys from World War II? I mean, here's a fun fact. Literally, the main bad guy himself from World War II had many Middle Eastern countries try to prevent Israel from happening. Made many deals with, like, Iran, with, actually, I don't know the other countries. I'm pretty sure at least Iran. But I don't want to name drop any other countries if I don't know their names. But there were many Middle Eastern countries he ended up siding with to help prevent Israel from happening. Seems like that they would want Israel to happen, and they would try to have helped Israel happen in World War II if he was for Israel. It's really hard to sit here and watch people say, oh, Zionists are bad guys, or the same thing as bad guys from World War II, when literally we can just look back in history and see what the main bad guy himself, how his stance was against Israel. He wasn't for it. He was not for it at all. Anyway, Jordan, literally no one gives an F if you criticize Israel. The moral high ground when you blatantly hating Jews is what's pathetic, Anna. The Jews did this, the Jews did that, but it's never Muslims that did this, the Muslims did that, even though they're the ones ending people around the globe. Let's see what she says about that. Nah, some of my... Oh, here it is. So this is the one that Ethan shared. Good. Nah, some of my favorite people are Jewish. They're just able to see what's happening for what it really is instead of defending a genocidal political ideology. Why aren't you worried about any of the other political, like, genocides or any other genocide in the world, though? That's what I don't understand. Why is it that people are so obsessed with Israel and genuinely never, ever talk about any other genocide going on in the world? Doesn't that just strike you as a little weird? Just a little bit? Ethan has never met a pro-Palestinian woman he wasn't eager to talk down to. Oh, okay, sure. He's never beating the misogyny claims. Sure, whatever. That just can be written off. Klein is also a former IDF... Oh, wow. Who would just do raids for fun in the West Bank. That never, ever, ever happened, guys. That never, ever happened. First of all, they have conscripture. Do you know what that means? It means you are forced to join the IDF if you are a citizen there. Just the way it is. If you are a kid who grew up, you go into the military for a couple of years. That's not a choice. To literally blame anybody for that is absolutely childish. Anyway, does it recognize Armenian genocide? Are you a Turk? LOL. Aren't you a Turk? Yeah, I mean, it's just odd. It's all odd. Anyway, I hope you get drafted yourself to see what you do. You'd probably fail a basic human competency exam. Oh, you mean get drafted to go fight for Israel? I'd rather rot in prison. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. You wouldn't do it at all. You know, I doubt you'd make that choice. Darn it, I really want to. Yeah, he's trying so hard here, you know. But he wouldn't. He wouldn't. He would have done it. He would have just done it. Done his time, and he would have gotten out. That's what he would have done. Rod Stewart literally named the song after the organization. Yeah. Probably is that. So Anna's just wrong. Absolutely wrong. Term Young Turk, yeah. So Rod Stewart probably was singing something about that. Who knows? I don't know Rod Stewart. I don't listen to his music. I'm a folk metal guy. As, you know, you guys can tell in Sephirim. Winter Sun, check it out. Aether Realm, check them out. Trust me, you won't be disappointed. Anyway, so watching them have a slap fight is hilarious. I really can't wait to see this develop into more. Unfortunately, Ethan, that's the last thing he's updated on. So we'll catch it later on. But this whole slap fight, cat fight here going on between two absolute dumb people. You know, well, I say two dumb people. Anna Kasperian is probably the smartest of the bunch. She genuinely has made changes and adjusted her whole ideology around a worldview that broke her initial echo chamber. Okay? That says something, because most left-wing people I've talked to that can literally be shown what's going on in the real world will still just deny what's in front of their eyes. So, at least there's that. But watching them fight over this, watching Anna make these arguments when she literally was making the opposite argument against Cenk just a couple of years ago. I think this was like 2 or 3 years ago, that she was telling Cenk, hey, TYT actually is offensive because, hey, I'm Armenian and this genocide happened and da-da-da-da and, you know, all that. She made those arguments. Now when Ethan's making them, she's going, oh, that's ridiculous. You think this company named itself after that? Yes, actually, Cenk genuinely did that. Cenk did that. Get over it. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share, and I will see you all here in the next one. Later.